almost out of coffee. All right, we're streaming. All right, we're gonna talk about stuff that's going on. I've got a lot of stuff going on, guys. All right, let's bring this guy over to me so you can hear me. Bello's over there on the chair. Hi, Bello. All right, so I am making a lot of baits. Do have some small hard bait finesse baits coming in, and so we'll get to painting those. And I got 2 new molds coming in for soft plastics, and those 2 new molds. One is a 2 1/4 inch paddle tail, great for crappie and trout and stuff like that. And I got a 3 1/2 inch shad coming in to complement my 6 inch swim bait. So it's a paddle tail too, and so I'll have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 inch molds, and so that'll be fun. But I'm going to slow down. I am going to slow down. I want to make baits because I want to, not because I have to. And during the summer month, the demand goes way up, and I understand that. I really do. Because the baits work in the summer. So people want them, and they want to catch more bigger, fun fish. But I need to slow it down a little bit. And so when you see my baits for sale, it'll be limited. Um, they're going to be available on a very limited basis. I'm not going to, Lake of the Woods Marina is selling them like crazy, and to be honest, they've got it, I think, limiting, maybe 30 baits a month to them, and for my own personal sales, upon request. And I do, hey, Hustle, good morning. There goes my cat. So, I want to make baits because I want to, not because I have to. I am retired, and it is a fun hobby. And so I will still field your requests on emails and get those done, and as much as I can. Then I have this radio program, and the radio program, well, it takes a lot of time too. I mean, think about it. It's a 1-hour show, and weekly. So I have to come up with an hour's worth of material every week. Now, I think I'm going to, I was fishing yesterday, and people were, they just don't get etiquette. Kayakers paddling between me and the shoreline, when they could just go around me. I even have a boat do it. Big boat, too. And what an idiot, because he was in 3 feet of water. I mean, he could easily have damaged his prop. What an idiot. But people are stupid. They just don't know etiquette. And I have had a 15-minute segment on etiquette before, and I think it might be a reoccurring segment on my show. So, come here. So, people, I mean, you just got to keep telling them, that shore fishermen have right of way, that, fishermen have right of way. I mean, you want to give people their distance, their radius of their cast. It's just simple stuff. It's just drives me nuts. I mean, twice, 3 times yesterday, people cut between me and the shoreline. And they just do that like, oh, it's no big deal. When I'm in my boat, I'm casting towards shore. And these people just right in front of me when they could just go around me. Um, it just drives me nuts. Yes. I love my coffee. I had to leave the river. A rented pontoon and kayaks kept running over my line, and they had at least 60 yards. I know. I know. And it's, I just, I tell my wife, this is just common sense, but it's not common anymore. It's just not common anymore. These people could easily just go around you, or if they didn't see you, which these people did, um, apologize. But they, I don't know. It's just, uh, it does drive you crazy, right, Ussel? I mean, just drives you crazy. I'm short tempered, so I pack up and leave instead of getting into a shouting battle. I wanted to say something. Um, but I held back. The lake I go to, this one behind me, Lake of the Woods. It's good size. It's not tiny. It's not like we're in a pond. And oh, so that was my frustration yesterday. And but the good thing is, my wife went with me, and she got on my boat later in the morning and afternoon, and got to enjoy the lake with me. And that was the first time she's done that, and that was a lot of fun. I didn't catch a fish while she was in the boat, but you know, it was a fun little cruise around the lake. But I need to continually put this on my radio program. I do have a really good, video on my YouTube channel on etiquette. Um, so I don't need to keep putting that on there because it's there. But on radio, you have to just keep saying it over and over and over again. And I don't even know how many viewers I have. I mean, I think I have 6 or listeners on my radio show. I don't know. No idea. Um, but I just, you know how it feels, Oslo. I mean, you're short-tempered, and you did the right thing by packing up and leaving. But I am Italian, and I speak my mind, and I hold back. The Christian in me holds back the Italian, and it just it was just, I wanted to say something so bad yesterday. Cast in their boat, or hook them. I could do that. It should be part of your radio show. You know what? I'm going to make it a regular part because it just keeps happening. And as the summer gets more busy on the lake, people, more people are going to be hitting the water, and they're going to need reminders of, you know, swimming areas, shore fishing, kayaking, small boats, large boats, ski boats, all personal watercraft. That's a whole different subject right there. Personal watercrafts, all these, sea-doos that like to zoom around you. And all those things have to be reminded of safety and of distance. In Oregon, it's optional to have a boater's license, captain's license. So I just throw a goose at them. Well, I felt like throwing something at him, especially on the third time. It was like, ah, oh, what are they doing to me? Really testing my patience today. It was like, I mean, it happens once a day, but I mean, when it was like 3 times, it was like, I mean, I'm fishing fairly close. I'm casting distance to the shore, although I can cast pretty far. But one was a boat. It was a ski boat. It was like, what the heck are you doing? Cruising that close to shore. I mean, it was just stupid. Yeah, I really wanted to. And he had 2 kids in his boat, and I just, I held back for the children. If it was just an adult guy, I probably would have reacted. But he had 2 kids in the boat, and I just didn't want to, you know, make a scene in front of the children, and that's why I held back on the boat. Now the kayakers probably shouldn't have held back. Well, I'm glad I did, but I mean, I'd rather be wrong than right, and make peace. But and everybody knows me at the lake. I mean, Lake of the Woods and terrible fishing are synonymous. When it comes to my channel and me, everybody knows me. So I have a reputation that I have to keep up, and now with the radio program that's public, that I got to keep it up even more and just sort of swallow it. But I think on my radio show, I'm going to spend time throughout my radio show talking about due respect. I just put that, I think, on last week's radio show. This week's radio show is pretty good. This week's radio show, I think you'll like it because I interview just a local fisherman, and he's going to be, it was a fun little interview. He had one of his kids suffered seizures, and it was a lot of hospitalization and stuff, and fishing was a therapy for him, and so it was a really nice interview, and so that'll be a fun segment on this week's. I did talk a little bit about bait making. So I think, I'm going to do a little soft plastics versus hard plastics, soft baits, hard baits type of segment next week, and definitely talk about etiquette. Any Tafty fishing shirts. I do have some that I wear. The problem with shirts is everybody's a different size, and I would love to make a variety of shirts, but it just costs too much. I'm just hey, Elias, how are you? I would love to have TAF shirts. This logo right here on your shirt is really cool. Craig, how are you, buddy? You have a tap cooler mini fridge? You probably do, with my stickers on it, huh? So, I do have stickers. And yeah, shirts are fun because when I wear my terrible fishing shirts, everybody wants one, and they just, it's just size. I'm thinking about hats. You know me as bruising and tackle box. Yeah, I'm thinking about hats. Doing just, caps that say terrible at fishing. Because, the one size fits all. That's easy. And, sell those. I'm sorry. I just want to, and pontoon. My pontoon boat says terrible at fishing on it. people always see, in my truck, it's too big on the back window of my truck. some see-through, and people will be behind me in my truck and take pictures of my truck because they just can't believe that that logo is actually prominently displayed. People stop me in parking lots and goes, "You're probably not terrible at fishing, huh?" I go, "No, I'm definitely terrible at fishing." But people in the parking lot will always comment on my truck. So I gotta put down broadcast time on the radio, and so people it can advertise it a little bit, just a little thing on the back window. Well, Friday nights at 7, but yeah, I'll probably do that. But that yeah, clothing is cups. I've done cups, but travel mugs or whatever. But I think the hat thing. I think the hat thing will be good. So I don't know. But I've been so busy lately. All my videos have been bait making, or you see me out. I've done some lives out on the lake, and and I mean, I'm not catching anything lately. Waiting for the water to warm up. We had a freeze on Sunday, so it cooled the water down again. So it's supposed to get to 90 by Friday, so I think. And I'm having this remodel done in the bathroom on the top floor, and it's just, something else. It was supposed to be done last week, but it's not. We've had little uh, issues. When you have a remodel, you have issues. But so right now the bath is in there. Toilet's not in there. Starting to look. Right now it looks kind of like a bathroom, but doesn't look like a restroom. It's just so much. I mean, remodeling is not a fun job. I mean, in the end, it's going to be nice. I'll have a shower I can fit in. This is Bello. This is my Maine Coon. You are a big kitty cat. He's 20 pounds. Big giant cat. Big giant cat. He likes to lay on me. This is my big Maine Coon. And so between the remodeling and stuff like that, that is just there you go. These all settle down. He's a big cute cat. He's a big cute cat. 20 pounds. He's not a fat cat. He's just a really long cat, aren't you? Aren't you? Yes, Bello, which is Italian for handsome. It's Italian for handsome. And he'd be, if he was a girl, he'd be Bella. But you're Bello. I have a black and white too. So, but they're both rescue cats. I love cats. Lower maintenance, but definitely more lovable. I mean, you can't do this with a dog too much, right? He just likes to nuzzle. I know it. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Yep. I have my goldfish in my tank. So I think I'm going to slow down on bait making. And I love bait making. I just don't want to stop loving bait making. You know? And I like painting baits. So making large baits by molding it. Hey, people gotta hear me. Unless you want to say something, go ahead, speak in it. Yeah. Well, he doesn't have a voice for radio. He's got a face for TV, but he doesn't have a voice for radio. He's a funny kitty cat. They like to flip on their back, get their bellies rubbed a lot. Maine Coons love just getting their bellies rubbed. They're just, look at this. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is a typical Maine Coon posture. This is just have their bellies rubbed on their back. So, yeah, that was my frustration yesterday, was etiquette out onto the lake. And didn't catch much, a few bass, nothing big. They're still spawning on largemouth. And because any big ones that are being caught still have eggs in them. And a buddy of mine did catch a 713 out on the lake. So, I mean, but full of eggs. So, 7 pound, 13 ounce. That is a big, big, big bucket mouth. And so I love these new swim baits, though. The new swim baits that I've been making, you could toss them anywhere, completely weedless. You could swim them through the grass, you know, bounce them off of logs. I mean, just I really, really like these new swim baits. So I have a 3.5-inch shad that I'll be painting, molding and painting. So yeah, it is. Out of golf balls, cool. Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, well, yeah, last year we didn't get ice here either. This lake, you know, Lake of the Woods behind me here, previous year we had 4 feet of ice, but we didn't get any ice this last year, so really bummed everybody out. I mean, all the lakes just didn't freeze. So hopefully this week will, or I mean this winter we'll get ice again, and we'll be ice fishing. And I love ice fishing. So yeah, my cat. But yeah, it's I miss ice. I really missed ice fishing. All the ice fishermen did. I mean, we were just so bummed here on the West Coast that we didn't get any ice this year. So, but but I mean, our top water is about to hit in a couple weeks, and then you'll see me in July and August. July and August, it's all top water fishing, pretty much. Real shallow, very shallow fishing. I did throw some frogs yesterday out onto the lily pads that were just breaking surface. It was still too cold. It was 62 degrees, you know. It was like, but you know, it's kind of fun. And so we did throw some frogs. You know, my favorite frog is a frog called by a company called Toad Thumper. And Toad Thumper is, I mean, for hookup ratio, they're fantastic. They got the best hookup ratio. And it's hard to fish soft plastics. So you wanted every advantage you can get. But yeah, all right, baby. He is 20 pounds. You know, you hold a 20-pound cat on your chest for a while. You do get heavy. You do get heavy. And I have a bad chest. He's so funny. He likes to jump on the desk, but I have hooks up there, so he did get a hook in his lip once. He jumped up on my workbench, and he had a hook go right through his lip, and so that was fun. But once I cut the hook and removed it, 5 minutes later, he didn't even think twice. You know, he was like, no big deal. We just suck it up. Once the hook's removed, we just go on with life, right? But he did get a big hook right through his lip once. Catfishing. And they shed like crazy. I mean, Maine Coons have all this fur, and they just shed like crazy. Tons of fur. If you love your topwater tailspin lure, and breathe that 1 second. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Take a deep breath. When you fish hollow body, you got once they see the blow up, just take that breath and then set the hook. But you know, instinct is boom pop. That's instinct, and then you just pull the frog right out of their mouth. So you just gotta let them. You gotta let them dive with it, and that big breath just allows you to set the hook and bring that fish in. And then you got to be quick enough to get him up onto the lily pads, that big fish. Or else if he dives down in the lily pads, you're just going to pull. So funny, sometimes I pull up a fish, and I think he's bigger than he is because there's this big salad wrapped around him. And so I'll pull him up, and I'm just peeling off all the lily pads, and I get down there, and it's like a 1-pounder. You really wanted a 4 or 5-pounder because that's what you had, you know, on the hook. You got all the lily pads, so you gotta jump that. You gotta surf the fish on top of the water and try to keep him from diving down into those weeds, and him tangling up your line or just pulling up a bunch. Typically, I use a 30-pound test and braid, the Power Pro 4-strand. This stuff. This is the braid that I use, although it's green, but Power Pro 30-pound. And that's really strong braid. And I lost 2 baits yesterday. One just fell off the boat. The other one, I snapped the line because I hit one of my rods, went on a back cast. But I really love these baits right here. These what do you call them? Dancing bones. Wow, they look so good in the water, man. Now you can fish beds with those babies, but I don't fish beds. So, but what a great looking bait, dancing bones. So I'm glad I got the mold for that, and I'm just molding them. And it's just, man, they look so good in the water. I mean, they just dance. There are so many appendages on this thing. Wow, this is a really good bait. So I'm just, I don't know. I think I'm a little stressed with all this stuff. I don't like being stressed. I'm retired. I'm in my 0 stress phase in life. I love coffee. Robert knows I love coffee. Love that tea you sent me, Robert. Wow, that is real. I mean, it's like a potpourri tea. I mean, it was all that cinnamon. It was just. But yeah, I just. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be back on the water. A lot of it's got to do with this remodel. You know, Saturday, maybe Friday. I don't know. They just stocked the lake with 1,200 fish, so, and you know that brings up the bigger fish. So, yeah, that is a great package. Great package. I actually got my, oh, you know what? Got my very first like super sticker yesterday. I was doing a live, and I got, what do you call it, a super sticker yesterday. Yeah, for $1.99 from Colby Springs. Um, I have never had one. That was my very first one. I don't even know how to. I can't figure out how to redeem it. No idea how. It was just like cool. I was fishing as it popped up, and I go, "That's not what I think it is," and it was. So Colby was nice enough, donated $1.99, so it was really cool. Um, oh my God, Robert. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was so nice of you. I love it. I mean, it's. I know that the channel's monetized, but it's not making anything. But when you guys do stuff like this, this is so cool. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. And yeah, it's. I'm beside myself when people do that. I mean, the channel is, it's informative. It's supposed to help people, enjoy fishing again. And also, you guys know when I started this channel, I couldn't speak and I was paralyzed. And so that's why it was called Terrible at Fishing. And so when I started the channel, it was pretty much an exercise for me to practice getting my speech back. And coffee grinder fun. Awesome fishing, man. See, this is where awesome has to be at the Terrible at Fishing channel. See, that's what it's got to be. I mean, you got your balance. You got me, and you got awesome. So awesome fishing man is here. So he's here to share. So cool, so cool. Um, yeah, I do have. I think I told you earlier I got 2 new molds coming in, and so those will, and it's really more for to give variety to what I've got. Because I've got the Dancing Bones mold and I have the 6-inch mold, and that 1-inch doesn't shoot hardly good at all. I'm doing okay. I mean, I was frustrated yesterday on the lake. I had 3 times people cut between me and the shoreline, and 2 times in kayaks, 1 time in a boat. And it just was so frustrating. I tried to squeeze the boat, because I knew he was thinking about coming off from behind me and cutting me in. So I really pushed closer to the shoreline, and it's a boat with an outboard. But he was insistent to come on come between me and the shoreline, and he was in 3 feet of water. He could have easily hit a rock because it was a rocky bottom and damaged his boat or his motor. And okay, Robert, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Robert. Go back to work and make your boss happy, I guess. We'll catch you later, Robert. But yeah, I really squeezed that boat, and it was just he was insistent to do it. But with 2 children in the boat, I did not want to make a scene for that idiot on that boat. I was really irritated with him. Thumbs up, my friend. Thumbs up. But I squeezed it, and it was just I couldn't believe he just kept. He could have easily just gone around my back, I mean, what in the world was he thinking? And he was coming. I mean, crazy thing is, his boat came within feet of a swimming area, and it was just stupid of him to do that. So not only was it rude for him to cut me off from my cast, but he also came close to swimmers. And He should not have done it. He shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have done it at all. Uh, he could have easily gone around me, but and it was dumb. It was dumb. But so I think a regular feature on my radio show will be on etiquette. I know I already had one segment on etiquette, but I'm going to have more until people get the hint. Until people get the hint, because they're just not getting it. Um, it was dangerous for his boat, dangerous for his kids, dangerous for the swimmers. Um, and the kayakers, I mean, they think they own the shoreline and they just paddle away, in a lake, and they just don't have any respect for fishermen. They just out there thinking that they, are having a good time, and it just drives you. I mean, it just kind of it irritates you. I mean, it was like Hustle was talking about earlier. He left yesterday, from his fishing day because of rude people and not respecting his fishing area, and cutting him off when they went right over his fishing line. And I had people go over my fishing line too yesterday. And it's just, and if they went over my fishing line when I had strong line and it caught in their prop, it could break, it would definitely broken my line, would have lost the lure, and it could have broken my rod. It was just dumb. Dumb. So, I just gotta keep harping on the right of way. There is a right of way. Shore fishermen have right of way. And it is kind of irritating when you're fishing a certain beach and then a shore fisherman, a bank fisherman, comes up onto your spot. He has right of way though, so I just move over. But but yeah, it's and then there's who has right of way on the water. Is it the person the person to the right, the person behind you, blah blah, the person in front of you, etc., etc. And you just there are rules. Everything guy. We got awesome fishermen, and now we got everything guy. We are a well-rounded area right now. That's what we are. We're well-rounded. So we got somebody who's everything, somebody who's terrible, and someone who's awesome. You can't get much better than this. I mean, this is a group, and we have hustle. So, with this new, we'll get these new molds in a few weeks. They got to make them, and about 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, and we'll get those molds, and then I'll have to see what a good hook is for that other swim bait. 3.5 inch. I'm thinking a 3/0, maybe 4/0 hook, and people can fish these bigger baits with a weighted hook, which I give them on the big baits, and they can also Texas rig, things like the dancing bones, these right here. You can Texas rig those, and they work really, really well. Or you can use a weighted hook. That's up to you. I'm trying to make title for my video. I don't know what it's fishing. Trying to make make title for my video. I don't know what it's fishing. I don't get it. I'm not understanding it, but I have brain damage. Don't know what it's fishing. I don't know. I have brain damage. Oh, it's for fishing. Okay. One word makes such a big difference. It's like a punctuation mark. Well, funny names always get better. And we like Terrible at Fishing. I mean, the channel's done pretty well, and now I got a radio show, and I have a best-selling book called Terrible at Fishing, and people people like self-deprecating stuff. they, just, they can relate. I mean, terrible at fishing. We're all terrible at fishing once in a while. Some of us more than once in a while. So, I mean, title everything a little self-deprecating, funny. Um, terrible at fishing. Like I said, I started it when I was paralyzed and couldn't talk. So it was definitely a truth. And when you're self-deprecating and it rings true, you got yourself a winner of a title. So whenever you make a video, um, you want it to get hits. None of my videos really get a lot of hits. I mean, I have some that are a few thousand. I have one video on my personal channel that has got, what was it, 100,000 hits. It's a video of a burrowing owl coming out of his burrow. Looks like Oscar the Grouch. But bird videos. I like bird watching, so I enjoy taking pictures and videos of birds, and as much as I do for fishing. But this new weight loss system that I'm on, which isn't much, it's kind of common sense. 1,700 calories a day, a lot of vegetables and stuff like that. Just watching my caloric intake, lost 20 pounds. So I'm under 300 pounds now. Yay. Barely, but there. I got a 2. And so I need to continue. I'm trying to get my before baby body and not look 9 months pregnant. Now I look like 8.5 months pregnant. But yeah, everything. I mean, if you want a good hit, do some nice editing to it. Put some little call outs on it. I use a program called Power Director 365. That is it's everything a person needs for editing. It's got a huge library of just everything on it, but it's called Power Director 365. There's nothing more that you need for editing. And you have access to tens of thousands of videos, Getty images, stuff like that, all on this one program. But Power Director 365, and I use Audio Director 365 for my radio show. So, so if you do podcasts or whatever, that's a good one. But Power Director is hands down the best. And I was stuck on Magix for a decade, and I got Power Director at free when I got my new when I built this computer with my new video card, which failed, so I got a new video card. But it gave me that program, and I didn't use it for like 6 months because I liked Magix. And then I just used it. It was like, wow, there's so much on this editing software that, that was it. I dumped my Magix, and now I've got Power Director, and it is a killer program. I mean, you could do anything on that program, and so much available to you. All the neat graphics, all the different titles. I mean, 1,000 titles. Just thousands and thousands of music that is royalty free, and videos. And I mean, if you want a good editing program, I would definitely recommend Power Director, because it's killer. I mean, it is just a killer program. You can, You have to try it for you to really, 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 see what I'm talking about. Because I can do anything, and you can make it in any format you want. Another really easy thing to do on it. So I do a lot of 9 by 16, 16 by 9s, depending on putting it on Facebook or on YouTube, or even making a 60-second short. I'll tell you, if you make a short, that gets a lot of hits. Anything under 60 seconds in a 9 by 16, that portrait mode, those get a ton of hits. It has a different what do you call it? Not logarithm. It's you know what I mean. Anyway, YouTube is trying to compete with places like TikTok and stuff like that. And so by creating these little shorts, YouTube gives it more playtime in order to get more competition against TikTok and Snapchat and whatnot. And that's what you would, do a lot of. I haven't done a lot of them lately, but the ones that I've done really, really well, really well. I've been so busy making baits and a radio show and this remodel and trying to get some fishing in. Last year I was going fishing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This year I'm fortunate to get 2 days a week out on the lake. Maybe as the lake warms up and I'll get back to a 3-day week. But I haven't done a whole lot of fishing for me. And that sounds like a lot to anybody else, 2 days a week. But I got all this other stuff. And my little room here that I made in the basement, is getting crowded. It's getting crowded. My soft plastics area, there's the microwave, the grill, and things like that. It's just, I've got a lot of stuff in this room now. I'm going to have to redesign this room a little bit. Put some more, I have 2 of the walls is rock, so you can't really do much there unless I hang it from the beams. But yeah, it's I need to sort of get back to organizing this room a little bit. I did clean it up. Doesn't look like it now, but it just gets dirty quick. Oh well. But yeah, we'll get this. I got to figure this life balance a little bit against what we're doing right now. So it's I have to figure it out. You get burned out when you don't have good life balance. So whenever I had an employee get burned out, I usually sat him down and I said, "Look, tell me what's going on. Because you're not enjoying your job anymore. So that means your life is out of balance. Either you're putting too much effort into your job to where your personal life is screwed up, or your personal life screwed up. It's affecting your job. Let me help you figure this out, and we'll get you back in tune with life, and get you to enjoy both what you're not doing out of the job and what you're doing in the job." And once I sit people down and I kind of help them with that, then it was, I had a better employee and a better person work for me, and I had thousands of people work for me, and they always appreciated when I sort of sat them down and says, "Look, let me help you. You're not the same person that was in front of me, last year. Tell me why." Sometimes it was school. They were having a hard time with school. I go, "Well, you need to dedicate more time to get those grades up." I go, "If they're frustrating you and you're letting your job," I go, "I can trim you back a little bit here if that'll help you here." And it was always easier for me to work with a good employee to keep them happy than to lose a good employee because things were out of balance. And whenever I find myself feeling like I'm working too much, I'm out of balance. So I have to sometimes give myself that same talk. So, and my kids are the same way, so no big deal. I mean, they're in school and college, and they need to find that balance. And college is, well, for me, I think it's overrated, but the generations nowadays, they still put a lot of emphasis. I went to college for a few years, and it was just, and I found my job, my career found me, and typically that's what ends up happening is that careers find the person. Um, you can go to college to be a radiologist, you know, a pharmacist, and you find out that you just didn't like it, and do something else. Or you're miserable in your job because you feel like you owe it to yourself for all those years in college, so you have to do the job. What is the old adage? If you have fun at your job, you never have to work a day in your life. That's what it's like. So never do what you think you have to do. Do what you want to do. Um, Big difference. And I did what I wanted to do. So, and now, in my retirement, I do what I want to do. And when it feels like I'm doing it because I have to, I need to cut back. And so, this summer, we're going to be making some soft baits and then some small finesse hard baits. And, yeah, we'll sell them. Yeah, I've got, how many up there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've probably got about over a dozen large swim baits up there. So, you know, I can always make more, but I'm waiting for, I got some small baits I have to paint because I was at Lake of the Woods yesterday and they're running out of small baits. So next week we'll produce some small baits, and hopefully we'll have a bathroom next week. Oh, please, 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 please! I want my bathroom back. Remodels. All right, I think I probably lost everybody. I need more coffee. 24-ounce mug, and I'm out. I don't have a cup of coffee. I have a pot of coffee with a handle. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for stopping, and thank you, Robert, for the donation. It was really cool. I got to figure out how to get it. I'll do that today. All right, thanks, guys. Take care, and tight lines to you. And keep tuned into the channel. Hit the little bell. And on Saturdays, I'll post the radio show from Friday night, so all of you guys can hear it. Otherwise, go to my radio show playlist. You can hear my past shows, and you can get the internet link for the radio station. And on Friday nights, Pacific time, 7 p.m., give or take a few minutes, my show starts. And it's an hour long, and this week I have just a regular guy being interviewed. He's a comedian, local, and so hopefully you guys will enjoy this week's show. And some really fun stuff. Past shows, I think I've done a pretty good job. A lot of information.